Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We are all here supremely blessed for participating in what is considered as one of the most auspicious days in the entire year for a practicing devotee. We gathered today evening to celebrate the most auspicious occasion of the Supreme Lord's appearance in this mortal world amongst all of us as Sri Narsimhadev Bhagavan. In terms of time, it appears to be an event which took place in Satya Yuga, which is many millions of years in the history of time. However, we are reminded by our teachers that today's day in every way is non-different than that particular day when the Lord appeared in this world. Today's day, just like we have the holy name, is Krishna in sound. Nama Rupe. Nama Rupe. It's a Rupa, but it is embodied in Nam, in sound. So you can have form embodied in sound, which is quite amazing, but scientifically possible. Similarly, today's day is form embedded in time. That means today's day is the deity of the Lord's appearance day. Therefore, when we tune our consciousness with the right frequency, as they say, based on association, based on our internal introspection, and allow those feelings to arouse from our heart, that we are not today on 5th of May 2012, but this actually is the holy day, commemorating that very auspicious time when the Lord came to this world. Why is this day important for all of us? Many ways. But one important thought is that the goal of life is to surrender to Sri Krishna. Mama ekam sharanam. That is the summum bonum, the highest achievement achievable by any living being in all the 14 worlds. To surrender willingly, happily, and unconditionally to the most beloved Lord, Sri Sri Radha and Gopinath. And one of the symptoms of surrender, of the 6th symptom of surrender, is avashya rakshibe Krishna. Avashya. Avashya means in all circumstances, Krishna will protect us. When a practicing devotee marches ahead with this confidence that no matter what happens in his life, because of karmic situations and the uncertainties of this world, which are very fearful, even something as powerful as Titanic can drown. So since there is fear at every step, padam padam, a devotee may be sometimes surmounted by events in his life which may tend to topple his Titanic. But with this faith that Krishna is always there for me, he becomes pretty much fearless. And that was the enormous faith of Prahlad Maharaj. We talk about having a faith like a mustard seed, which can move mountains. But Prahlad had the faith of a mountain. A mountain is amount of faith. So in terms of time, we are at 7:25 today. And just few minutes back, this event took place in time. I think it was 7:02 today. I don't know what was it. 7:05. It was the exact time, as we understand this beautiful story, which comes to a climax, 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Prahlad is undergoing such innumerable, atrocious tormentation on his life. Which into the modern man, when you talk of child abuse, this sounds like an extreme degree of child abuse also. Parents sometimes might beat or this and that, but this is something way beyond that. It is so supernaturally powerful that it has to come in the Bhagavatam. It is such a severe case of child abuse in one sense, that it has to be in the scriptures. No parent can imagine his child putting him to cobras. How can any parent imagine that his child would be put into to living cobras, thrown from a cliff? If a child stands on a stool, which is 2 feet high, and said, "Oh, parse," they're very fearful that you will fall down. So the mother is always ready. So, we want to talk of somebody holding his child at the feet of 10,000 feet above the sea and having him pushed. So this is unbelievable. But through all those various types of torments, which even today shock our minds, we may hear it and get blunted. Prahlad went to the oil, boiling oil, and the cliff. But when you just try to imagine in one such situation in a child's life or in our life, when standing up there at the Niagara Fall and somebody's going to push you there, what will happen to ourselves? But what is the steadiness of Prahlad's consciousness? When I say he's like a mountain, I mean his faith, his steadiness of mind is like a mountain. He was not in the least fearful. If there is any example of fearlessness in this world, if you would like to etch in our hearts as the most fearless person ever born, probably the first number would be Prahlad. The most fearless human being ever born in this world is Prahlad. He didn't have the word fear in his dictionary whatsoever. And that fearlessness was not because he was a very strong man and he had his own mystic powers to counteract what was happening to him. His fearlessness dawned from his implicit protection in the Lord's protection. His love, the Lord's love for him and his love for the Lord. That even when he is facing the most powerful being in this universe, he is fearless. Hiranyakashipu by no means was an ordinary person himself. Imagine Yamaraj getting scared of Hiranyakashipu. When Yamaraj was his menial servant, one who holds the Yamadanda, Yamapash, which is invincible. But he was doing some menial chores for Hiranyakashipu, who had changed the entire definition of life and its perfection, that everyone should worship him. So undoubtedly he is not but the most powerful demon in history. And standing in front of him and still being very calm and composed, that is Prahlad. But the more calm was Prahlad, to that same extent was his father most agitated, because his calmness and his equilibrium was extremely disturbing to his father. That how can he remain so cool when I'm doing all these things to him, and his faith in his Vishnu never seems to shake even by a millimeter, and I'm not able to do anything to him when everybody around, all the 33 crores of demigods and the semi-demigods, and the lower beings who are there under them, when everyone is scared of me, why this boy is not scared of me? What is it within him which gives him this utter state of fearlessness? And of course, the Lord was saying, he was asked, where does the power come from? If there is power, we could see Prahlad had power. He had power which Hiranyakashipu could not understand. A small boy had immeasurable power. Where is your power coming from? To withstand me? He said, my power is coming from the same place as your power is coming. Or power of a bulb, a tube light, or any air conditioner, all power comes from the electric powerhouse. There are no different sources of power to different gadgets. There's only one source for every gadget. So that is, I get a power, or you get a power, or somebody else power, everyone gets from the same source. There's only one source of everything. Janmadi asya yataha. The source of everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So my power comes from the Lord also. So this made him so furious. He said, is that Vishnu in this pillar? It's just a random thing. It was not a premeditated question. He said, anything which you saw, he's in this pillar, like that. He said, yeah, he's in the pillar also. But I didn't have to think twice. He said, oh, well, let me think about this, whether he's in pillar. What does the Bhagavad Gita say? Sarvasya chahamriti srimasto. Okay, maybe he's in. So he didn't have to think of slokas at that time. Because faith is not based on rationality. Faith is beyond rationality, beyond logic. It is as spontaneous as breathing. You don't have to think, should I take my next breath? Well, let me think. Yeah, I think I should. It is part of your life. You just keep on breathing endlessly till you die. So faith is like that. It's intrinsic to you. When challenged, is the Lord there, is your Vishnu there in his pillar also? It was spontaneous. It was like breath of life for him. Yes, he's everywhere. He's in the pillar. It means logically he's in the pillar also. You don't have to think twice. But how would we believe that the Lord is in the pillar? Is there in the pillar? We are so faithless that we would need to have a faith ourselves. So this pastime is primarily for bolstering our faith. Yes, it is to kill Hiranyakashipu also, but down the line, for millions and billions and quadrillions of years, whenever this pastime is spoken, we will remember, yes, the Lord is everywhere. And then we know Hiranyakashipu smashed that pillar. And then the Supreme Lord, the most powerful Lord, in his most ferocious form, we can chant this particular mantra, which is the meditation for Narsimhadev. Ogram Veera Mahavishnu. Ogram Veera Mahavishnu. Jwalantam Sarvato Mukham. Narsingham Bhishanam Bhadram. Mrutyum Namamyaham. A huge form. His hair, white hair, was scattering the clouds. His face was like as if in flames. Short, thick neck, slender waist, and a form which Hiranyakashipu was having to study. Who's this? Who's come out from this? Trying to analyze. The face of a lion, the body of a man, the claws of a lion, and the tail of a lion. And the roar of Narsimhadev is something which is the most powerful sound in creation. The same sweet Lord who plays his flute and attracts all living beings. The Jamuna and stones melt, right? And the cows crying tears of love. That same Krishna who is unbelievably sweet when he plays the flute, The same Lord, when he goes in a different mood of anger, he can be absolutely uncontrolled. His anger personified. He was so angry that practically the universe was shaking. When we shout or get angry, what shakes? Only our own heart is shaking and nothing shakes. But the Lord is shouting, the elephants cry in fear, and the universe, which is 4 billion miles in diameter, that big ball of 4 billion miles shakes. The power of the Lord's roar. Let us remember that the Lord has got inconceivable potency. And what does his anger stem from? Why is he so angry? This anger is a transformation of love. It is not a frustrated anger of what we go through. We all go through anger because of frustrated desires. Kamaesha, Krodhaesha, Rajaguna, Samudbhava. Udbhava, it arises from our own frustrated Rajagun because of unfulfilled desires. But the Lord's anger is not mundane. He is transcendental and his anger also is transcendental. This is transformed love. The love for his devotees is so immeasurable. Krishna loves to be known as Bhaktavatsal. He loves this name. That he will do anything and everything at any point of time in history, past, present and future, for his beloved devotees. Anything. Nothing is too great for him to do. He is willing to do anything for his devotees. So when such a devotee of the caliber of Prahlad is being tormented, tortured, abused, punished, then the Lord's anger, which is his love for Prahlad, manifests on Hiranyakashipu as his uncontrollable ferocity. So this is love. This is love in a different form. Makes him extremely fearful. So the demigods could not stand his, at this point of time, 7:45 now, in history, on the same day, the Lord was so angry that demigods could not face him. And there's a big fight. The big fight goes on. The fight is described. The fight was like a cat plays with the mouse, right? The Lord could have killed him immediately. But the Lord has also part of him as being the Veera Rasa part of him. He likes to fight. So he gave him a good fight. But then at the exact time, the Lord, Narsimhadev has a very special attribute which is described by the Acharyas, that he is extremely intelligent in doing things to protect his devotees. He has a type of intelligence which only works, sort of, not only, but primarily works, to scheme out various things to protect his devotees. That is his special attribute. Like the Lord's core competency is to just devise ways and means to just protect his devotees. In this connection, there is a Narsimhadev which is there at Mangalagiri. We'll come back to Narsimhadev and Ahobilam in a while. We'll go to Mangalagiri for a while. In Mangalagiri also, same thing. There is a particular demon. See, all these demons, they think they're damn smart. They think they're very smart guys. So this demon called Namuchi thought no end to himself. He said, he did tapasya which we cannot, which, sort of in one sense competes with Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu, as you know, was standing on his front toes of one of his legs. Other leg was, sort of Parvatasana, is it like that? And two hands above and head facing the sky for thousands and thousands and thousands of years till his whole body melted away through the ants. But Namuchi, he took a pin. He took a pin and then he put the pin point on the ground. on the head of the pin, he put a mustard seed. And he stood on that. Try to imagine to what extent a demon can go to protect his mortal life, just to protect this flesh which you carry around, and to enjoy through this flesh, through the senses, what a demon will not do. And he stood like that, balancing himself on that mustard seed of a needle, head point, for thousands of years. And who got frustrated? Brahma got frustrated. So, what do you want? What is it you want? Why are you doing such crazy things? I will not die through any weapon which is either wet or dry. All well thought. It was absolutely premeditated point. It was not taken by surprise. Tathastu. What else can he say? But after that, Namuchi became so arrogant, so proud. He just marched the entire universe. And no matter what weapon is there, it has to be wet or dry. There is no weapon in the world which is not wet or dry. Right? So he went on uncontrollably marching through all places in the universe, and no one could do anything. So when there's a problem, then there was an urgent meeting called crisis management. That takes place up there also. It takes place everywhere. And the world is the same in one sense. In the house or in a corporate company, wherever you go, there are firefighting is required. So all the demigods come together, and Brahma says, well, I just given the blessings, but I don't know what to do with it now. So we need to go to the Lord. So they go to the bank of the milk ocean and they pray. And the Lord said, you don't worry, I will take care of this guy. So Lord, and then the Lord blesses Indra with lots of his celestial weapons, Vishnu's own weapons. And of course they are very powerful because they are Vishnu's weapons. And when Indra starts using them, then Namuchi sort of is not killed, but he is on the defense and he starts running for his life. Because they're transcendental. And he runs through this cave in this big mountain called as Mangalgiri. He rushes there because this is the place which will, where I can be safe. But somebody is waiting for him there. Already. Who is that? Narsimhadev Bhagavan. He is waiting there and he's so angry. And catches him. Right? And there's a fight. Right? And the Lord invokes his chakra. This chakra is not made of fire. It is made of foam. The foam chakra. Now, only the Lord, who is the creator, knows what is wet, what is dry, and what is not wet and not dry. Because he made foam. So, you don't know how to kill this guy. But demigods, Brahma could not figure out that also because he's just a secondary creator ultimately. The primary creator would know exactly the dynamics which goes into making foam. So foam actually is not exactly wet, right? Because you can have foam and you can throw it like that and the foam will go. Foam ball will go. And it's not actually really dry also, but so when you rub foam on your hand does become a little wet. Right? Right? So it's dry and it's also wet. It's achintya bheda bheda tattva again. It's wet and dry in a very amazing form. It is achintya. How form can be, but only the Lord. So Narsimhadev has this unique ability to figure out exactly how to preserve all the boons of the demigods, however much they keep on giving, right? And yet figure out something that the demons cannot figure out, right? So he has this extra sensory perception because he's the Lord of the creation. So anyway, Namuchi became history. He was killed. So in this way, the Lord exactly could figure out that he was waiting for that time when keeping all the Brahma's boons intact in terms of time, not be born through weapons, not through hands. So, he also has all these various permutation combinations which if all will make him immortal. But the Lord, again, as I said, had this unique ability to figure out all that was there, keep it as it is intact, and yet go beyond that and still do the needful. So there is a particular form, if you go above Ahobilam, there's lower Ahobilam, there's higher Ahobilam. upper Ahobilam. Ahobilam is the actual place where the Lord appeared. And we can even go there today. Some of us have been there. Right? As you go up the steep mountain, there's a particular form of a cave temple called as Jwala Narsimha. There are 9 forms there. Malola Narsimha, Pavan Narsimha, Chhatravad Narsimha, Karanja Narsimha, Ahobila Narsimha, Bhargav Narsimha. Right? So there are various forms there. And one of the forms is Jwala. Means he is like fire. He's like fire. And he has got 8 arms. The 2 arms are holding Hiranyakashipu steady. One holding the legs, one holding his head. So he's wriggling. Obviously, no one is going to allow the surgery to take place. No anesthesia is there. And the patient is on the operating table without anesthesia. And he's not willfully signed, not given consent for this. Right? So he's being held like that. And what is the power of nurturing? There's hands. Those hands are like universes. They're not hands of just ordinary lion. When the hand falls, it's like a universe holding you. So you are, you cannot budge. The whole universe is holding your head and your leg. Finished. You're paralyzed. You're stuck. You're stuck to the Lord's thighs. And 2 of the hands were actually ripping apart the abdomen of Hiranyakashipu, which was made of vajra. They're not made of skin, no bones, no blood vessels were there. It was made of vajra, Brahma's boons. Nothing could pierce that. You can think of vajra as 1,000,000 times more powerful than steel. Can you put nails in steel and tear apart steel? No. Tear nails and steel? No. But the Lord's nails could dig into vajra-like skin of Hiranyakashipu and is tearing him apart. 4 arms are being used. And 2 are being used to pull out the intestines from his abdomen and wear them as his own victory garland. Right? Because he's doing something heroic. And the 2 of them are holding a chakra and a shankha. So this is the 800 form of Jwala Narsimha, doing this operation on Hiranyakashipu. The first surgery, they say, right? The first major surgery. And this way the Lord, with his tongue, moving like a dueling sword, in ferocious form, again roaring uncontrollably, just ripped about his heart and threw it, right? And pushed him aside. And he kept on roaring because his anger was not coming down. So demigods went to Akash Ganga and they got lots and lots of water from Akash Ganga to bathe him. And he just uses water for washing his hands. And that formed a kund called as Rakta Kund. That kund is still there. And it looks like blood. A tinge of blood. And it tastes like blood also. And it feels like blood. We washed our hands also in that kund. In 1999. And then the Lord's anger would not be pacified. And demigods were getting so scared, they were just running away from him. In Brahma and Shiva. And usually the wife knows how to control the husband. Usually. The husband gets angry, but wife has her own feminine tricks how to, But Lakshmiji was completely withdrawn from this. This is beyond me. And the only way to pacify the uncontrollable anger of Narsimhadev for having tormented his dear devotee Prahlad was with Prahlad himself. As soon as Prahlad came in front, the Lord's anger completely got subdued. And those hands which he had just washed, then mercifully went upon Prahlad's head and he sat him on his thigh. Like a loving father would hold his son and caressed him. So here is a beautiful relationship of our own Lord, who is our Father, with his son, Prahlad, on his lap. So this is the ideal relationship which we are seeing, a father and son. And the Lord was giving so much confidence to Prahlad. He said, now don't worry. Nobody will harm you anymore. Nobody will do anything. I am with you. I am with you, like that. And the Lord was exuding that tremendous confidence. There's a story of our Narsimhadev at Mayapur Dham. That's a beautiful story of how he came there. When he was to be worshipped, the devotee called as, I forgot his name, I think it was, there's a pujari who was inducted in serving the Lord. And the Lord, even in his deity form, looked so scary. So he would get very nervous in serving the Lord. He would make his offerings and he was like almost shaking while doing all the offerings. Extremely nervous. And the night when he was just going to move out of the altar, and that he heard some sound. So look behind, what happened? So everything in its place. He just went out of the room, offered obeisances, thank you very much, started his mantras, and he left. And he went and slept in his pujari room. And suddenly in the middle of the night, his bunker was shaking. And I said, maybe the person, the devotee sleeping in the lower bunker must have got for Mangal Arati now because of this time. So he was just there. But it was shaking still. And next to bunker is Narsimhadev. And he couldn't speak anything, naturally. Narsimhadev was he just sat up like that. He placed his hand on this boy and said, why are you so scared of serving me? Please be peaceful. And the Lord touched his beautiful Tavakara Kamala, that same hand which we worship through our mantra every day. That same soft lotus-like hand touched his body. And then he didn't know how to react to this. And he got up and he just ran to the temple. And he ran to the temple and he went flat to Narsimhadev. The door was closed. It's not still open. The door was closed. And he offered his prayers and he must have prayed whatever he wanted to pray. And he was walking back. And he was looking strangely at him. Said, because it's time for others to start coming to the temple. And he was, of course, in his night clothes. But he started running in fear. And then ultimately when he gathered himself, he said, I saw Narsimhadev. So Lord is so reassuring to his devotees. As far as we are concerned as Vaishnavas, we are not supposed to fear God. We don't want to become God-fearing people. That's a lower level of devotion. Where you fear God. Because if you don't follow him, then he's going to smash your plans and get angry with you and all that. But we are supposed to become lovers of God. Our goal is prema bhakti. Not bhaya bhakti. But bhava bhakti. We are here for bhava bhakti, not bhaya bhakti. Right? So the Lord is like that, very reassuring to his devotees. So when we see Narsimha's form, it is so reassuring that the Lord will always protect us in every situation. A young girl, and Narsimha was not just a historical person. We should understand that all through the times, Narsimha has been a person who's always there for his devotees, always there for the mission which his devotees perform on his behalf. So we know this beautiful story in Chaitanya Charitamrita about the Lord protecting the mission of Lord Chaitanya, right? When that Mridang was broken by Chand Kazi and his people, right? In Navadvip, when he passed a law that nobody can do any demonstration, and everyone was chanting Hare Krishna in their own homes. So there was a huge amount of opposition by the Chand Kazi. And then we know the whole story how Mahaprabhu Chaitanya marched with those millions of people through the entire streets of Navadvip, and they reached the house of Chand Kazi. And there was a debate between Chand Kazi and the Lord. And the Lord then took him inside and said, I want to tell you a secret. He didn't want to say this in front of his own people. And he opened his kurta and said, last night, a huge ferocious form of a half man, half lion jumped on my chest and he showed me his claws. And he put it right into my chest and was about to rip it into two. Right? He said, I will not going to do this to you now because your offense is not so very great. But if you really harm my devotees and obstruct my Sankirtan, then I will kill you. And he roared. A deafening sound of his roar. And when he opened his kurta, lo and behold, those auspicious marks of the Lord's claws were there on Chandkazi's chest. So Lord was always there for his devotees. In the early 19th century, even when the dacoits attacked our Yogapeeth temple, which was being run by Thakur Bhaktivedanta and his son Saraswati Thakur, then when the dacoits were attacking, because that area is infested by so many other type of people also, right? They installed Narsimhadev. And we all know that on I think it was 24th March 1984, that very historical day, right? When dacoits attacked, 30 dacoits attacked our Mayapur temple, right? And they stole away Prabhupada and stole away Srimati Radharani, and they attacked so many devotees, right? At that moment we decided that the only way we can protect ourselves, you see, the devotees do not really depend so much on their muscle power. Like Prahlad didn't think of protecting himself by, he said, I'll go to the gym now and make my muscles and then I'll fight with these guys. Really, take care of these fellows. He didn't want to go to the gym because he had the trainer himself with him. Narsimhadev was with him, right? So the devotees are not going to do so much on themselves. Of course, they kept pistols and guns themselves. That was one thing. But our faith is in the Lord's protection. It's not in our strength. That's the point. That we can do whatever we can from our side. But ultimately, our ultimate faith is that the Lord is behind me. Right? And He will do things for me. Because the child is surrendered to his father. Right? So he doesn't have to really fear anything. In a big crowd, if you're walking in a big mela, as long as your father's finger is in your hand, the child feels fearless. And the moment the finger is gone, then he starts crying. Right? But the finger is there, a lot of people are walking around him, a lot of commotion is there. The finger. That finger is the one that gives him complete confidence. So he's confident not in himself, but in the power he has to hold that finger is the source of his fearlessness. So also for the devotees, our dependency is on the Lord. So they said, let us invoke the Lord to come and stay in Mayapur. So then the devotees, Bhavananda Prabhu and other Vaishnavas, they decide that they will have this form of the Lord installed there. So as far as we are concerned as, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, ISKCON devotees, for us, the most worshipable form of Narsimhadev is in our own ISKCON temple. And he's not at all Ugra. He looks Ugra for the demons. But as far as we are concerned, he is like, as I said, a loving father. A loving father. There are so many stories of our Narsimhadev, how we reciprocate with devotees. I'm sure all of you have heard many of them. How, as we grow in our Krishna consciousness, we come to realize that there's no real difference at all between the Lord and His deity form. It is just a mental conception that we think, oh, this is the Lord, this is the form. But as we grow and become more and more purified, we come to get this realization by hearing the stories, various pastimes, that the deity is in every way non-different, equipotent as the Lord Himself. It is just a trick of Maya to make us feel that the Lord is different and His deity is different. This is it is Naraka Buddhi. It's like a Naraka Buddhi. It's a very, very low type of consciousness. So here there are so many pastimes which the Lord has performed to show us that He is always available for His devotees. Once a pastime which comes to my mind, one particular Mataji was there, and for the last 3 weeks she was having some very serious problem with her eyes, and eyes were getting blind almost. And she was standing in front of the Lord, and she was praying, and she just heard a loud sound within herself, "Give me back my eyes." So she didn't know where the sound is coming from, and she kept on praying, "Give me back my eyes." And the sound was so strong that she couldn't neglect the sound anymore. Right? And then I think she went back and slept, and the Lord came in her dreams and said, "Go and tell the Pujari to give me back my eyes." So the next day morning, she followed the Pujari of Narsimhadev, Pankajangari Prabhu, to his deity room and said that, "I just heard the sound from the deity that he wants his eyes back." Right? So Pankaj would not reply anything, just give Mahaprasad and that was it. So the next day, they changed Narsimhadev's eyes. The original eyes of Narsimhadev, as when he was installed, were red in color because he is angry. And somebody had come, a wonderful Vaishnava, and he had given a beautiful yellow colored diamond to put as eyes. But the Lord wanted his own eyes, or his original eyes. So he had spoken through this devotee. And next to this child, this devotee's child, he said, Mommy, the Lord looks very beautiful now. He's got his original red eyes back. And when she went and saw these red eyes, she was so happy. And within a short time, she got back her own eyesight. One person was burnt in a fight. Again, this is eye pastime. Burnt in a fight, something happened. Somebody threw acid on his body. This is Navadip. So the acid is, as you know, very corrosive, right? So the whole face was disfigured, and he lost one eye 100%. Another eye lost 90%. And they told him, you take him to CMC Vellore, and they can do some ocular surgery there, from oculoplasty, whatever. They can do some of these fancy surgeries there. But I said, no, why don't you just go and pray to Narsimhadev? So devotees have their own shortcuts, right? So then they pray to Narsimhadev, and the next day this person's eyes were back to normal. He could see what the Lord cannot do. And this is not a devotee who was burnt in a fight. It's just some anybody. But in one sense, the Lord is the father of everyone, right? He loves his devotees specially, but he loves everybody also. Suridam sarva bhutanam, right? So in so many ways, the Lord is here to give us this confidence that if we put our faith in him, then he's going to be a most loving friend. Most loving friend. In this planet, the most ferocious form of the Lord, talking about Narsimhadev's various forms, we talk about Ahobilam, Jala Narsingha. And then when Ahobilam, when you go up, there is a place called as Ugrasthamba. Ugrasthamba. How many of you who are sitting in this room have experienced Ugrasthamba, have climbed Ugrasthamba? Very few. But it is a place it is a place. It's a wonderful place. It is the exact pillar, the broken pillar from which the Lord appeared. It is still there. And it is a huge mountain, a steep mountain, several kilometers of almost like a trekking walk upwards. And there are about 500 devotees who went to this path, and even the locals said that you should never climb that mountain because there are bears, tigers, scorpions, snakes on the mountain, and it's a very dangerous path to follow. But somehow, in 1999, the utsav of the devotees was so high that even young people, old people, invalid people were climbing mountains, right? And it bolstered the faith of everyone who went there, that even if somebody is old enough, so old that he cannot barely walk to the bathroom practically, was coming a mountain. It's true. And people could not, climb from Gopinath Mandir down from ground floor to the first floor, unless with great difficulty they could just walk the first floor to the temple, but climbing a big mountain at Ugrasthamba, which even locals were scared of climbing. Pangum Langaya, Tegir, Yat Kripata Mande. Right? So, Ugrasthamba is there. So that is a very special place, Ahobilam, where the Lord actually appeared. Another very important place for Narsimha Bhaktas, for all of us, is a form of the Lord in Simhachalam. It's called as Varaha Narsingha. Now this can imagine this form is even more special because it has combined the face of Varahadev and the body of Narsimhadev. Right? Prahlad wanted to pray to the Lord like this, that my dear Lord, you you liberated my uncle, Hiranyaksha, in this form of Varahadev. I would like to see this beautiful form of yours. And the Lord manifests this form of Varaha Narsingha. And he is the most ferocious Narsingha form in the entire universe. Most ferocious. Bhishanam Bhadram. Bhishan. Ferocious. He is so ferocious that he has to be all the time covered up in chandan. On the day of Akshaya Tritiya, we just went few weeks back, 2 weeks back, they had to cover the Lord actually in 480 kilos of chandan throughout the year. That type of chandan he needs to cool himself. The Lord has own air conditioners. He has own air conditioning devices, how to keep himself cool. That's why Acharya say that when we welcome devotees or when we have function, we put chandan on the head, right? So yeah, that's a good way of welcoming, but it's basically, be cool, Prabhu, be cool. It's also means that whatever happens in your life, just be cool, like that. You should have a cool head and warm legs, right? That's what the Prabhupada said. So this way of actually cooling everybody is, we have all these desires, Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, troubling us all the time. So this is like to cool your desires. Anyway, so on Nakshatritiya day, for that one day, for morning to evening, the chandan is opened. And thousands upon thousands will come to see the Lord, naturally. And before dawn, next day, 120 kilos is put. And within the next few weeks, another 120. By the time it is about 4 months, he has covered with 480 kilos. It's like a big mound of chandan. It's like such a huge mound. We saw that in the event. It's a huge mound of chandan. And the Lord is deep embedded in that. This form also is called as Jiyad Narsingha. Jiyad Narsingha. Jiyad Narsingha's pastime is that Brahma prayed to see the form of Narsimhadev again. This is another time, after the Lord had appeared. And the Lord told him that I am present in my form at Simhachalam. You go to Simhachalam. So it is said Brahma himself worshipped this form of Vara Narsingha, which is there at Simhachalam. And then it is said that many years later, Pururava and Urvashi were having a sort of a good time in their aerial spaceship. They were traveling around. And the temple had by that time gone into some sort of a disrepair. Sort of neglect was there. And then by that time, a huge amount of ants had covered the Lord. And there's a big ant hill on the Lord. So through the ant hill, the Lord protected himself from the heat and the cold. See, the Lord also is a person. Let us never forget, the Lord is a person. Of course, he's a supreme person. So he devised his own means to protect himself from the vagaries of the weather. So the ants came and served him by making this whole big protective anthill around him. The Lord was very safe inside. Not being worshipped, of course. So the Lord was very unhappy with Pururava because he belonged to a very devotional dynasty of kings and Vaishnavas. But now he was into some sort of a very crazy self-sanctificatory trip where he was enjoying with the heavenly Urvashi. It was most unbecoming him as a descendant of a great lineage of Vaishnavas. So I was very unhappy with this sort of behavior of Pururava. He was expected to do much better things in life than just move around with a beautiful lady. So the Lord came in the dream of Pururava and said, I am here, please find me and worship me. So Pururava went and he couldn't see, and then he gave up. So then he told him the address, I am here. So he came the next day and he saw this mound. And then he said he made a big, beautiful, nice temple over there. Nice temple over there. And that's the form of Jiyad. The word Jiyad Narsingha, the word has come in a very wonderful way. Jiyad actually is a devotee of the Lord. Is a great devotee of the Lord, was a pure devotee. And the Lord became very favorable towards him, and the Lord asked this person that, what can I give you in return for all your devotion? And he said, my dear Lord, I don't want anything for myself, but if you really love me, then let my name be attached to your name. So this person's name was Jiyad. So his name became Jiyad Narsingha. So this is the Lord's glory. The principle to understand from this is that the Lord loves to be called by the names connected to his devotees. So you say Gopinath. That means the word is connected to his dear devotees, gopis. Sri Devaki Nandan or Nandanandana. So in this way, when the Lord's name is attached to his devotees, he feels very, very happy. He's very, very happy. So there are wonderful things we learn from Narsimhadev's pastimes. But coming back to Prahlad, our role model as a great Mahajan, what do we really pray? How do we really express our devotion to the Lord today? In one sense, Prahlad's various prayers, which are all very beautiful and studied by acharyas for so many millions of years and gaining inspiration from that. But one thing which struck me and which I tend to remember off and on to study my consciousness is this prayer where it says, Matir na Krishna parato satova mitobya padet griya vitanam adanta gobir vishatam tamishram punah punah charvita charvananam. The last line is most important. And this last line exposes the entire fallacious mentality of the conditioned soul. What is our problem in this world? Why are we in this world and why are we going to be in this world for a long time? Because of this phrase which Prahlad has coined so beautifully, we still feel there is pleasure in chewing what has been already chewed. Punha punha charvita charvananam. This eating, this sleeping, this mating, and this defending is so juiceless. There's nothing there. In every species of life, we have done it. As an earthworm, as a frog, as a cockroach, as a scorpion. In all these bodies that we have gone through, we have done eating and sleeping and creating families and protecting our children and defending ourselves. We have done this again and again for millions of lifetimes. What makes us feel that even as a human being, living in a big apartment, BHK, 3 BHK, 5 BHK, 100 BHK, whatever it is, right? What makes us feel that we'll be any more happier with the same damn thing? You live in a 100 BHK flat also. Not flat, it's a palace. Yeah, we went to South India, there is this Padmanabh Mandir, this long Padmanabh Mandir is there. The king there, the king, big king, he made a big palace and then we went to this palace. There's a nice museum attached to that palace. I like to say museums. We went there and they had so many rooms in this palace. So they had shown us something like 30-40 rooms they showed us. This is just part of the rooms of the palace. There are 84 more rooms in this palace. But they are locked because, they're not for public to see. I said, one king and 100 rooms. What does he do with all these rooms? And he made a palace and in 1 year he died of heart attack. At the age of 34 years, this king died of heart attack in the 18th century. I said, my God, what a blunder. Life is so wasteful like this, just trying to chew what we have already chewed. So when will we all decide once and for all in our hearts that I want to stop this chewing business? There's nothing there in this world which actually we have not really experienced. The soul is hankering for Krishna. We are all looking for Krishna. It is the only person who can really satisfy the needs of the soul. No matter what else we do in this world, when we become a multi-billionaire, we'll be still miserable. Like Hiranyakashipu is an example of that. Nobody has more wealth and control in this world than Hiranyakashipu had. Whether it's Bill Gates or anybody else. He's a tiny fly in front of Hiranyakashipu. Right? One was controlling not just a big multinational corporation, but was controlling the entire universe. Right? And everything within the universe belongs to him. And how frustrated he was. And Ravan had a Sone ki Lanka, and he was frustrated. So what makes us feel that power has got happiness? What makes us feel that wealth has got happiness? What makes us feel that sex has got happiness? What makes us feel that, name and fame has got happiness? It's not there. It's an empty promise of Maya. The real pleasure of the soul, which we are looking for, birth after birth after birth after birth, is in serving the sweetness emanating from the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. The heart is hankering for that. There's a real substance. Vastava Vastu is that. And if we don't really give up this old mentality of ours, of chewing the chewed, we'll be rotting in this world. Even as devotees, we may just hang around, chanting a few rounds and going from heavenly planet up and down, up and down, up and down. Yeah, that happened in Mangalgiri. That brings me back to Mangalgiri again. In Mangalgiri, in Satyuga, the Lord said, when he was installed there, he got himself installed in this temple on the top of the hill. And there were only very few devotees in Satyuga. So the Lord told that I would like to be satisfied. The demigod, how should we worship you? The Lord said, you gave me just Amrit, celestial Amrit from the demigod planets. So the Lord was fed Amrit. And that Narsimhadev temple is very special because when you offer a huge amount of Amrit through the Lord's open mouth, which is like a cave of a mountain, then after he drinks half what is there in your pot, there will be a gurgling sound. That means it's a signal that he has it enough. And exactly half would have remained in your bucket or in your pot, whatever. Right? And that the Lord gives you back as Mahaprasad. And even if you had a glass of something, at half you would make that sound. And then half is to you and half goes to him. 50-50 partnership. So the Lord is not going to say, give me everything. It's, half is yours. Right? And it is said that in Satyuga, those people who were sinful, and there were a few of them, who were about to go to hell, Yamaraj would bring them to Mangalgiri. And when they come to Mangalgiri and they would pray to Narsimhadev, they would get purified and they go back to Vaikuntha. In Treta Yuga, when Ram went back to Vaikuntha planet, along with Hanuman, not Hanuman, stage of other people all went back. And there were some people in Ayodhya who were sinful. Many people went back to Ayodhya, the spiritual Ayodhya, not Bhama Ayodhya. And then some people were there in Ayodhya who were a little not so pure. So they were also there, so that you cannot go because you're not pure. So we cannot go pure. So what should we do? So Yamaraj said, okay, there's a very simple way. You go to Mangalgiri. You go to Mangalgiri, pray to Narsimhadev, and then, so when the Mangalgiri, they got purified and they went to Vaikuntha. Right? So Mangalgiri is a very special place. Same thing in Dwarkadhish also. In Dwarkadhish, some of the people who were there, they were praying like this. So there are a lot of people in the world who are karma kandis. And a lot of karma kandi do yagyas and the pujas and this and that and vratas and this and that, and they get some shakti, they get some punya. And the punya pushes them upwards into the heavenly planets. But the punya is like, is like the petrol in your car. So you drive from here to there, and the petrol is not, and then you go to reserve, and the red comes, and then you keep on driving, and then petrol is over. Then you Kshini Punya Martaloka Vishanti. You come back to this world. And again you come here and do some more punya. Right? And again you go up. So there are some frustrated people like that, many millions of them, who are saying, what is this damn thing going on in our life? We are going up and then we are going down and going up and down. Is there any end to this process or no? Because they are not really, they wanted to find some permanent solution to this. So Yamaraj told them, there's a solution. You go to Mangalgiri. And you pray to Narsimhadev. When he blesses you, you will free from the cycle of this repeated birth and death and going like a Ferris wheel up and down. So the Mangalgiri Narsimhadev is very, very special. In Dwapar they were worshipping him with milk. In Satyuga with Amrit. Amrit became a very scarce commodity in Treta Yuga. So they were giving him ghee to drink, pure ghee from the cows. And then that became a little more scarce. In Dwapar Yuga they were feeding him now with prasad of milk. And Kali Yuga milk, is very difficult. You may have limestone water there, you never know. Calcium carbonate mixed with water, chalk powder or something. It looks like milk. In Delhi they were selling that, they were saying. In Delhi they sell milk like that. Fake milk. So Narsimhadev did not want such thing in his mouth, Kali Yuga guys, you never know. Kali Yuga people are absolutely unpredictable. Said, you give me just good and water. So it's called Panakala Narsingha. Pana means good and Kala I think is water, right? So then now they make, anyone who goes there, millions of people go there every year and they all have good with water mixed and you offer, and when devotees go and do that, some devotees have heard this sound, gurgling sound. But the amazing thing is that not a single ant was there at Mangalgiri. When you have a small piece of bread or sugar in your house and on the kitchen, there will be, 50 ants around it and pulling that piece to their house. Taking it to their hideout, somewhere in the corner of the wall. But here there are tons and tons of jaggery being made every day into solution of, Panakala. And not a single ant in the entire hill practically when you walked up the hill. And up there even the deities, no ants, no makodas were there, nobody was there. Huh? It's amazing. It's a transcendental place. It's Vaikuntha, the Lord's abode. Huh? So in this way, we've been in this world for a long, long time, and I think it's time that we come to realize that unless we get rid of this, our lower nature, which is ridden with what keeps us in this world? Well, our lust keeps us here, our anger, our greed, our pride, our envy of the Lord and His devotees, our illusory attachments to those things of this world, that keeps us anchored strongly here. So today is a day actually for prayer. When we are here today, yes, we want to hear the Lord's pastimes, and hopefully we have developed some faith that the Lord is here to protect us. And protect what? Yes, not just protect our physical bodies, which are going to die in any case, but protect this insignificant faith which we have got. This Bhaktivedanta Bij, what we all have received in this today, by the mercy of His Divine Grace, is that we have this Bhakti-lata Bij with us. This Bij is the actual wealth of our heart, which will not be corroded by time. It will not be lost at the loss of this body. This Bij is the key to the spiritual world. And the more we keep on watering the Bij with hearing the Lord's pastimes and serving His dear devotees, this Bij is the access to fulfilling all the soul's unlimited desires to love and serve the Lord. So what we all have, and what we should really value, we may not have so many things in this world. It's possible you don't have a good marriage, you don't have a marriage partner, or a good job, or a good health. We may not have so many good things, which, or a good neighbor, or whatever, good in-laws, whatever else. But what we have is what is valuable, and that we all have is the facility, the privilege, the honor of doing devotional service. That's what we have. That's what we want to really value. So we want to pray to the Lord that please get us out of this unlimited cycle of birth and death. How long are we going to remain in this world? And enjoy these false pleasures of this, fleeting pleasures of this world, which are like a phantasmagoria ultimately. Right? But the real person is Krishna. Keshavadhrita Narahari, who has come as Narsimhadev. And He's calling all of us back to Him. He wants to keep us on His thigh and offer His love. So with this prayer, honest prayer of our hearts, with folded hands like a beggar, we shall now perform Aarti of the Lordships. And as Aarti is going on, as we're singing and dancing in front of the Lord, let this be the emanating theme of our heart, that na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani aishware, bhavatad bhaktir ahetuki tvai. And this is the best prayer. I was told by Guru Maharaj that the best prayer you can ever offer to the Lord is this, that please remove all these unnecessary obstacles on the path of my bhakti. This desire for name, fame, beautiful women, this, that, and all this is all useless. The real person is here, Krishna playing his flute. So I thank you all very much for coming today and participating in this beautiful festival. And let us all develop this faith that Krishna is there for us. Avash Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna is there to protect us in every situation of life. And rejoice in our good fortune and offer our hearts wholesale, just wholesale, at the Lord of His feet. Narsimhadev Bhagavan ki, Sri Prahlad Maharaj ki, His loving divine grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanandi.